All right. How you doing, guys? Just want to make sure everybody's here. I can see there was some chat. Now it's gone. Maybe, hopefully, I didn't wipe anything out. uh, Good morning, fellas. Sorry, guys. All right. Make sure I got the right stream on here. All righty. All right. How you doing, guys? Just want to make sure everybody's here. Take this off. All right. So, if you are new to the Raymond Report, we do this. We started doing this a couple days ago, and we're going to keep it going. Weekends, we're going to go from 11 a.m. till noon, and then on weekdays, 2 to 3. So this way, gives us enough time to get enough information throughout the day, especially on weekdays. Right, the games are mostly at night, so no sense doing a stream early in the morning when we're still gathering information. Dr. Packenwood too. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Thanks for showing up. So still new doing the live stream, so until I get a really good format, I'm going to start with the rain report. We get a lot of new people coming in, and they're probably saying, what exactly is the rain report? And I'm always going to do a short explanation on how I came about with this betting system a few years ago. And it's based on three things, right? Value, the percentage play, and performance cycles. And what you see right here is, you always hear me say at the end, no, shop for value, play to percentages. So anytime the line comes out, you got to, the perception versus reality, right? The perception of the line versus the reality of the line equals, value, if there is any. Also, the percentage play, I always say, the more a team wins, it decreases their chance of covering or winning in the next game. So that's why you always see the COC or the COW. And the Kogo chance of game going over. So the side and the total, and then the Vegas index cycle, right? The intangibles, the special circumstances, the situational handicapping, what I call. You always hear people talk about the letdown factor, the look ahead factor, the line moves. These are all situational handicapping situations that when you handicap a game, those are things you got to factor in, which I call indicators. So you got to have indicators, and as soon as you string enough indicators, you have yourself a good play. So value, those are the main three things, the key ingredients to my fundamentals of handicapping. And you got to have some type of system, or you can flip a quarter, right? Hey, a system's a system. You flip a quarter, throw a dart, or you have your own system. Biorhythms. So we talked about that a lot of times here. But you got to have some type of system. And my system, the Rain Report, value, percentage play, and then the intangibles, right? The cycles. Also, when I talk about teams, I talk about them as a A-type team, a B-type team, or a C-type team in the cycle. And the reason why I'm doing this is because after I give a little explanation on the Rain Report. This way, when we take out the Rain Report, when you're looking at it, at least now you know the fundamentals of it, right? And I think it's a good precursor to do it before. So A-type teams, anytime you hear me talk about A-type teams, when you look at standings, in the standings, you got your winners and losers, right? And then you got your average Joes. Urban Meyer, I love it in his book. He calls it the 10-80-10 rule. You got your 10% are your high achievers, your 80% are your average Joes and Janes, and your 10%, the bottom 10% are your disinterested. And in the standings, that's how I look at it, right? Teams that are 60% or more or higher in the standings, those are your alpha type teams. And then your average Joes are 50 to 59.9. They're fighting to make a playoff spot. And then your rebuild teams, right? The C type teams that are 49% or lower in the standings. Now, teams that are A type teams in the Rain Report, they're high public confidence but low rewards, right? And what I mean by that is, let's say for let me see in baseball, let's say the Yankees are minus 250. Well, there's no rewards in laying 250. The same thing in football, -9, -10. If you're betting on a team, that's a high risk, right? -9, but it goes with public confidence on that team and the perception versus reality, which I talk about up here, right? Perception versus reality. And then your B-type teams, those are teams where there's average, the moderate public confidence, right? The public confidence on B-type teams are very average, and medium rewards. You can get high rewards, low, medium rewards. C-type teams. Now, here's the part with C-type teams. Eventually, every dog gets his day, right? Every dog finds a bone. And the low public confidence you have in these teams, well, the high rewards. So that's where I come up with the A, B, and C, and then the performance cycles, right? I look at teams and cycles. A bullish cycle, so I use the stock market analogy of a bullish cycle. Teams that baseball, NHL, NBA, so high volume league sports, I do it in cycles of 7. If a team is 7-0, 6-1, or 5-2, I call that a bullish cycle. And if a team is 3-4, 4-3 in their last 7, I call that a neutral cycle, which from a psychological point of view, market perspective, you and the bookmaker on even footing when it comes to market psychology of teams that are in a neutral cycle. And for the bear cycle, teams that are 0-7, 1-6, or 2-5 in their last 7, I call that a bear market or a bear cycle for that team. Normally, those teams have low confidence, but high rewards, right? Like I talked about in the C-type teams. So you get a C-type team that is in a bear cycle, you can get some good value, especially in hockey. Like in today's game, for instance, I'm looking at some of the lines in the teams in today's hockey and basketball. Like I'll look at the basketball. The New York Knicks are C bearish right now, so there's value in the New York Knicks. Washington Wizards, there's value in that, and the Sacramento's bullish right now. They're a C-type team, but they're bullish, so it's a double-edged sword. So that's a bit of how I come up with the. Good morning, Jordan. How you doing, buddy? That's how I come up with the Raymond report, the fundamentals, and then you see my situational handicapping, right? The VIC, Vegas index cycle, streaks, division play. These are examples. Letdown factors, look ahead factors, late line moves. How some teams doing an underdog role, favorite roles, injuries plays a huge factor. Self scouting, and bottom line, luck, gut feeling, right? Sometimes when you make a play, you can throw out all the fundamentals. It comes down to how you feel, your gut feeling, right? So that's what I'm going to start off with there, guys. So anybody who's new to the Raymond report, the first 5 minutes is going to be an introduction to the Raymond report. And if you have any questions or comments, or just post them in the chat. Can you guys see the chat? Like I see there's 20 people. Sometimes I just wonder if there is really 20. So if a little roll call here to say good morning or how you doing. But if you see this chat, the fundamentals, just give me a heads up here. Sometimes you wonder if you're doing it alone. You just wonder if anybody's out there. Is anybody listening? What's that? That sound there is Pink Floyd. All right, let's go to NBA. We're always going to kick it off here with the NBA. Before we get going, guys, if there's any questions, don't forget to throw them up in the chat. And I got to log in here. My own site, and I got to log in. All right, let's go here. All right. So before we get going, any questions? If you have any questions, please let me know. And that's funny. I thought I already logged in, but a little bit of a process right here to log in. All right, let's go to NBA. Let's go to premium picks. And what about my guy, Buddy Buckets, last night, right? 2-3 with our selections NBA yesterday, 1-3 in premiums, 2-3 with our free pick. Free pick was the Sacramento Kings, went 3-1 NHL. So, good day in the NHL. Not a great day in the NBA, 2-3. But the picks we had here yesterday, I thought they did pretty well with the main consensus of the group. I know a lot of people, some people like New York yesterday, Sacramento. What about Chicago? Why couldn't they do that on Friday night, right? Oklahoma, I think, won that one by 1. Toronto, I knew Toronto was in a flat spot last night, right? And Trae Young was back, so we knew Atlanta was the play. Milwaukee flexed their muscle again. San Antonio, I was on Houston. I thought Houston would have had a better outcome, but San Antonio did well. Brooklyn, you know what? Brooklyn looked good until Kyrie was out, and then KD was out. Then the Philadelphia just that was total dominance right there. Golden State, Dallas, what a crazy game that was. If you had that game yesterday, man, Dallas deserved a better fate. I thought they, with the Lucas 3 and there, about 40 seconds left, thought it would have sealed it. But Seth Curry, not Seth, but Steph Curry, he just, 50-some points. He was just unbelievable last night. And we had Detroit. Remember, we had Detroit? And so D from Detroit. How you doing, D? I do play parlays, 2-team parlays, but not, it all depends on the volume of going on that day. But I normally bet single game bets, but I will do 2-team parlays at some point. Okay, good morning, guys. Good morning, Chad, Anthony, Dr. Pack, and there's my guy Yossi, Reggie. How you doing, Reggie? Adam, Jordan, Comic Kish. How you doing? And yeah, so James was dead after last night's game. What do you mean dead? What do you mean, Chad? James was dead, like he was just tired, or just wasn't up for it. Okay, Farmington Hills. Farmington Hills. All right, where's Farmington Hills? All right, 11:09. Let's pitter patter. Let's get at her. Let's get at the first game. We got the Jazz now. The Jazz going into this one against the Pacers. This no Conley today. Now the Jazz are a 5.5 point road favorite. The over under at 225. Forecast has the Jazz winning by 3, 223.6 with the total at 223.64. So it does like it to go under the total. Now I did some ATS calculator stats for you guys here because I know sometimes the calculator gets popular vote here on the site. So I have the calculator, and what I did is I already wrote them down. So this way, I'll give you the forecast. Now, when you see the forecast here, guys, this is my this is good morning, Demetrius, 80 and Adam. All right. So hey, yeah. So when I do these computer forecasts, keep in mind this is from previous games. So we go back 14 previous games. We go get the average score of those games when on the exact situation. So when the Pacers are a home favorite, totals between, I give it a range in the formula, and they're coming off for a win or a loss. That's the average score, and that's how we get the computer forecast. And that's why sometimes you'll see me. Sometimes I'll disagree with the premium, the computer forecast with my own premium selections because this is based on past previous average scores, right? So Pacers 4-6 in their last 10. Utah right now just quietly 17-6-0 against the spread this year, 18-5. They've only lost 5 games. How remarkable is that? Was it? I'm trying to think. Was it Shaq that told Donovan Mitchell, or was it who was it that Shaq really lit his fire? Said he wasn't good enough until he won a championship. Was it Mitchell? I think Shaq should talk to the Jazz every time he does interviews with them because I think that fired up the team, right? Looking at the value now, going back to the Raymond report, we talk about the value here, and minus 8.65 is the value here on the Jazz. Now, keep in mind, Jazz 18-5. This, they're not sneaking under the radar anymore. Everybody knows the Jazz are good. Everybody's talking about the 17-6 record. This reminds me a bit of last year's OKC team. You know what? Good team. All they did was cover. But this here for Utah, a good team. They win straight up, but they also cover straight up, where Oklahoma was a little bit of the opposite, right? They would cover but not win a lot of games. 15-8 to the over Indiana. Look at that. 9-5 at home. Now, looking at Indiana coming off a loss in their last game by 1 to the Pelicans. And Charlotte, won against Charlotte, 138-121. Now, the only thing that a little concerns me here, but I'm not, I like Utah today. 3-7 straight up in Indiana, 5-5 against the number, 6-4 to the over. And if you look at some of the other stats here, as a road favorite this year, Utah 6-3 straight up, averaging 112 to 109. So as a home underdog this year, Indiana 1-1. Now, looking at Indiana, I want to see their lineup here tonight, this afternoon. Every game's this afternoon, right, for the Super Bowl. So you got Brogdon, Lamb, Holiday, Sabonis, and Turner, Miles Turner. All right, and then for Utah, Mitchell, Inglis, Bogdanovich, O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. Looking at this one, I like Utah on this one, guys. What do you guys think? And if you have any picks that you like in college basketball, please go ahead, throw them in the chat, because that's what we're here for, to bring winners. And I don't do college basketball just because there's too much going on. I'm a pro guy. I do all pro sports. I do NHL, NBA in the winter. I can't throw in another one in the mix. Can you see his other screen? I can't. Can anyone see his other screen? Oh, wait, I don't have. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Perfect. See, this is the feedback I need, because I forgot to do a screen share. So whoever said that, I want to thank you for mentioning that. I'll do a screen share. And that was, can't see your screen, Jordan and and Roland. Thank you, Roland. Appreciate that. Screen share. Here we go. All right. Can you see it? You guys see that now? Just one sec there. Screen share. Screen share coming. I'll just write that in the chat board here. So I'm just going to wait to see. Okay, yeah, it looks like the screen share is on now. It's gonna. There's a 30-second delay with the YouTube. So I appreciate. Yeah, there we go. Screen share. Hey. All right, let's. You guys see that? Right on. So thanks, Jordan, and was it Roland? Thank you for bringing that to my. I keep forgetting sometimes. Yeah. Thanks, Roland. Perfect. So yeah, like I was saying, guys. You know, I like Utah today. I think Utah is the play. It just the thing is, and when I talked about in my situational handicapping, your gut feeling, and when I think of Utah, the 17-6, 18-5, all they do is win road games, and I think they're on a mission this year. So give me Utah -5. I see it. All right, Corey. I used to go Rhythm City in Davenport. Right on. All right, let's go to the next game. Let's go Miami, New York. I'm going to take a look at, you got to look at rosters now right prior to get tip off because there's so much. Like, did you guys see that Miami? Was it this game here? The line opened up at 215, and now it's 208 the total, 207. That's just absolutely crazy. I just don't understand how it opened up at 212. Okay, 212, 211, 215, and then a big jump to 207. I don't know. Maybe if that's a computer error, I don't know. But did anybody else see that that total go to 217? All right, let's take a look at this here. The New York Knicks. Now, Knicks coming off a big win yesterday over Portland, and they're a 6.5-point home court favorite this afternoon at the MSG, Madison Square Gardens. 207.5, 6.5 though. Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy's going to be playing today. I know he's a game time decision. I saw JTD beside his name, but I'd be surprised if he didn't play. Butler's listed probable for the left foot contusion. So we'll see if Butler plays, but I think he's going to play. All right. Do you tend to wait to make the bet on games? Yeah. Do you tend to wait to make bets on game like this? The line has changed already to -6. Would you recommend? Well, the thing is, right? Would you recommend making the bet now? Referring to Utah. Well, the Utah game, that line opened up by what, 5.5, and it's now down to 5, right? So the line's going. If you're shopping for value, like I always say in these videos, right? If you feel that line's going to go down more, then if you like Utah, just wait, right? The line's at 5.5 though. Unless you guys are seeing it open up at 4.5, it's going up to 5. So if you like Utah, bet them now. Because I don't think that line's going to move. Corey Jones likes the Heat. You really, Corey? Well, you seen something I'm not seeing? I don't know. Miami on the road. I'm looking at the Miami Heat on the road this season. Let me see here. 2-7 straight up. 4-5 against the number. 5-4. The under looks pretty good here too. Look at the under for the New York Knicks on the season. 7-17 to the under. 3-7 at home. 70% of Knicks games have gone under the total. However, Miami Heat in the last 10 games against the New York Knicks, 7-3 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. So a lot of games have gone under. But here's another thing, guys. Any NBA home team this year that is a 3.5 to 6 point home dog, 1-4 to the under. Now the line has moved, so I guess this was the opening line -6. And let me see here. It's up to 6.5. It opened up at 5.5. So sometimes when you see this, guys, you see these lines here, these stats, days rest. So 0 days rest because they played yesterday. And you see 3.5 to 6. Anytime the line moves, then we got to regenerate the stats, right? So we go based off the opening line. So this here is based off the opening line, 1-4 to the under. And let me check some of the other stats down here. The last time these two teams met was last year, 2020. So it's been a while. Let me see here. 3-7. So the last 10 trips for the Knicks against the Knicks, Miami against the Knicks, 70% to the under. So any NBA home team this year coming off 3 unders, 10-4 to the under. So it tends to go with the streak. And what's the streak here? 3 unders, right? Remember I always say with streaks, right? Any streak of 3, you can talk me in or out of it. As soon as you get the 4, just like Sacramento yesterday, right? You can talk me out of it. But the New York Knicks, so remember at the beginning of the show, I talked about the C-type teams, the C-bearish. You got 2 teams that are C-type teams that are below 500. They're both bearish in the cycles. So bearish, let's take a look at the both these teams in the last 7. 3-4, 2-5. So this year should be neutral, not bearish. So anytime New York's at home against a C-type team, 0-3 to the under. I could get Indy getting a backdoor cover over that. Yeah, that's the only thing that concerns me too, Isaiah, is that opened at 4. Really? Okay. Yeah, 4.5. I saw 4.5. All right, Washington, Charlotte. Now, Charlotte's a little disappointing lately, right? 4-6 straight up, 3-7 for the Wizards. Now let's take a look at the lineup here for Washington. Westbrook, I think he's going to play today. Bradley Beal, Abja, Chimera, Lopez, Raul Neto is still not playing, the 3-point specialist. Got to get him back. But it's Washington. They're on the road. They're 3-7 on the road, 5-5. But I look at the lineup here. The best players on the floor. Bradley Beal. Normally, I like to tend to go with these the players with the best, the team with the best player on the floor. But that can bite you in the ass sometimes too, right? Looking at the last 10 head-to-head matchup between these two teams, 6-4 straight up for Charlotte, 5-5, 5-4-1. Washington coming off a loss to Miami in their last game, 122-95, and Charlotte got smoked by Utah. Yeah. This is a tough one. Looking at this game, common sense. I don't know if there's any common sense in this one, but let me see what the forecast here. 114 to 108. The value play. Let's take a look at value. Let's go back to the fundamentals. Anytime you're stuck in a rut, always go back to your fundamentals. Charlotte plus 1.58 value. That's exactly what we're getting. Washington's overvalued here at -1. Let me go back here to the, I took the Hornets. Do I got 2 streams going here? I see 2 chats. Okay, wait a minute. Bradley Beal. Oh, there we go. Okay. -1 point. Yeah. Washington's overvalued. The chance of winning does favor the Wizards at 60%. The chance of covering, the higher high goes to the Wizards, 65%, 57%. Charlotte, 2 ATS losses. The last 4 games have gone over. Let's take a look at the line move on this game. 233, and it's now, no, 215. It must be an error here. 215. What are you guys seeing as a total? There's no way that's going to be. Let me check my my lines here. So here's another thing. Washington on the road against a C-type team, so another team below 500. 1-3 straight up, 1-3 against the number. I think the total, guys, anytime you get 2 teams like this that you're really not sure on the side, the total is an option, right? But I'm not touching this game. I've already got my 3 picks in today. I'll give those my 3 selections at the end of the show. I got 3. If I forget to give my 3 picks, guys, please remind me to give it out. Sometimes you get in these shows and you forget to give out your picks. So that's my hook to keep you guys here, right? To tell you I got 3 picks. 3 picks in hockey, 3 picks in baseball, basketball. All right. What do you guys, anything under 238? That's what you're seeing? Okay, let me go back here. Washington. Yeah, 238. I don't know where we're getting this 215. Must be in the feed. Sometimes you're held hostage with your feed source, right? All right. So yeah, you know what? I really don't have an opinion on this game. If I look at the total, 222, 114, I don't know. The value, so there's Washington's overvalued, so you got no value. The percentage play does favor Washington, and then the intangibles. I don't see a lot of intangibles. Charlotte's been disappointing. Let's take a look at the last 3 games, 1-2. Both teams are 1-2. I don't know, coin flip, and yeah, so we'll leave it at that. I think we're spending too much time on Washington and Charlotte, right? All right, PS 3 picks. All right, here we go. Boston against Phoenix. This is going to be a great game. This is one of my premium picks. I'm looking at the line here. -3 for the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Phoenix Suns, looking at their lineup here. So you got Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridge, Kaminsky, and Ayton. And then you got Thompson, Theis, Williams, Tatum, and Walker. No Jaylen Brown. And Marcus Smart. That's the only thing the little concerning, now more for the bench. But no Jay Crowder for the Phoenix Suns. Payne, Saric is still out. So, both teams got some we'll have some bench issues today, but a lot of star power missing. The spots favor the Hornets, in my opinion. You like the Hornets? All right. So, looking at the forecast here, Phoenix -3, the over-under 215.5. Forecast does like Phoenix 112 to 107. 219 is the total of the combined score here. So it does like it to go over the total. The Boston Celtics coming off a big win. The only concern I have here is coming off an upset win over the Clippers, 119 to 115. So is this a classic letdown spot here for the Celtics? Now, looking at the value on this play, we had Boston at -2.65, and you're getting +3. So you're getting good value on the Boston Celtics, -2.78. So if you do like the Phoenix Suns, fair market value, you're getting good value. Both teams are 5-5 against the point spread in the last 10 games, and almost even there in their last 10 straight up. Chance of winning does favor the Suns at 75%, and the chance of covering, the percentage play of covering the spread is even, 38%, and a 52% on the Kogo. The Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total today, so it does like it to go over. Now, Boston, the last 2 games have gone over the total, and let's take a look, see if there's any line moves to really talk about here. Now, this line opened up at 3.5 and is down to 3, favoring Boston by a hook. Boston Celtics on the road against a B-type team, 2-1 against the spread, 2-1 straight up, but 0-3 to the under. And for Phoenix against other B-type teams, so teams that are 50 to 59.9% in the standings, 1-2 straight up, 1-2 against the number. Looking at the Phoenix Suns record on the year, 12-9 straight up and against the number. So basically, when Phoenix wins, they cover. And for the same thing for the Boston. Wow, these guys got identical records. They're a mirror team of each other. Boston 7-6 on the road, but 6-7 against the spread. And Phoenix, they tend, when Phoenix wins, they cover. When they lose, they don't cover. So they're not a good backdoor team, right? 8-13 to the under on the season. And the last 10 head-to-head matches when Boston travels to Phoenix, 6-4 straight up. But in the last 10 head-to-head meetings, Phoenix is 8-2 against the number. I do like Boston in this one, guys. It's one of my premium picks. There's one of my selections there. So I do like Boston today against the Phoenix Suns. Looking at Phoenix last couple of games, okay, they beat Detroit. Then they lost to the Pelicans, and then a tight one here to the Mavericks, right? But the Mavericks are so Jekyll and Hyde. You can't figure this Dallas team out right now. Looking at the Boston, they're on a 3-game road swing. So now, right now, they beat the Warriors 111 to 107. They lost to Buddy Buckets and the Kings 116 to 111, and then they pulled the upset over the Clippers. This Boston Celtics team with Jason Tatum's on, the whole team's on, right? But I do like Boston plus the points. How do you not take a team like Boston? And you're getting value. You're getting value. So I do like the Boston Celtics here. Yeah, they have done well against the West. I agree. 13 rebounds. All right, let's go to the next game. So what do you guys, Boston? So you know what? Let's do this. Every time I finish a recap on the game, everybody just throw in their opinion on who they like. So it gives us a bit of a consensus. So Boston, Phoenix has not really been good at laying points. I'm just concerned. Celtics, you know what? What's their record? So Boston, so as a home favorite, Phoenix is 5-2, and as a road favorite, they're 2-5. So when they're in a favorite role, they're 7-7, just like they're, almost a 500 ball club, right? 7, and when not, Boston's an underdog, so they're 1-2 in an underdog at home, and I'm talking straight up here, 4-3. So they're 5-3, 5-5 also. So they're 5-5 as a dog. And let me see here. Yep. No, I like Boston here. What do you guys, over? You guys like the over? Demetrius? Celtics Suns game goes over 215. What's my total? 219. Yeah, you know what? I think the computer, I agree, plant-based. Yeah, I do like what's the Kogo? Kogo's at 52. Anytime the Kogo's within a couple of points, like 47 to 53% range, I still think from a market perspective, like the cycle, think like a bookmaker, right? Like my good buddy says, Ross Benjamin. If the bookmaker, if a team is on a 7-game over streak, bookmaker knows that and he'll use that to his advantage, right? He'll fix the line so that he won't fix it that he hurts us. He fixes it so that he gets balance on the number so that he can get the juice, right? Suns cover. Yeah, this will be a good game right before Super Bowl, right? All right, let's go to the next one. There's my guy. My guy Buddy wasn't on yesterday. I was watching that game, and he was passing a lot. But hey, you know what? Team player. He was Buddy Buckets. Buddy Yield wasn't. He didn't have a hot hand, but he made a lot of assists. And bottom line, the team won, right? And if the team wins, that's all that matters. Now, looking at this game, Clippers 8.5-point home court favorite. Over under at 228. ATS forecast, the computer pick, gonna lean with the LA Clippers, 118 to 109, over under at 227.3, so a hair under the total. And looking at the last 10 games for the Clippers, 7-3, and Sacramento playing some good basketball late. In fact, looking at their last 10 games, this is a team below 500, and they're 6-4, right? But they're 7-3 against the point spread. There's so much talent on the Sacramento Kings team. And the difference between them and a B-type team or an A-type team is what I said yesterday, right? Was it the Wall Street movie? A, B, C. Always be closing. Closing time. Once you get to that 4-minute mark in the last fourth quarter, the great teams close out. Dallas last night hung on by a string. Those teams, you can't let teams hang around. The Chicago Bulls and Orlando Magic on Friday night. Orlando not a good team, but you got to find, like Chicago last night, boom. You know what I mean? Like you got to find a way in the fourth quarter, gut check time. Let's dig deep. Let's bury this team. You got them down by 6 or 8. Don't allow them. If the foot's on the pedal, keep it down. You can't allow the average teams to think they're good. You really got to crush them. And I think that's the problem with some of these B-type teams like Sacramento, Chicago. The Clippers. When the Clippers get a lead, they get a lead. You're not coming back on them. All right, who's out for the Clippers? The Clippers. So Beverly's out. Paul George is out. So the starting lineup, it looks like Jackson, Reggie Jackson. He was in Detroit. I really liked him when he was there. Luke Kennard, Kawhi Leonard, Nicholas Batum, and then Serge Ibaka, our former Raptor. And then you got De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Yield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, and you got Rickon Holmes, right? So pretty good lineup here. Good matchup. Obviously without Paul George, it's a different Clippers team. But I do like Sacramento. Bingo. There's my other pick. Sacramento back-to-back Clippers off loss to Boston. Yeah, Emily, Jay, you're right. This is going to be a tough one for the Clippers. But you know what? Look at this. 15-9 against the spread on the year. And Sacramento, you know my rule, right? 7 ATS wins. You're either with them or, it's like trying to catch a falling knife when this is going to stop. So I do like Sacramento. I like the fact that they keep covering the spread. And the thing in sports betting, guys, anytime a team gets on a streak, just hold the rope and get on the bus because you're going for a ride. And I think the Kings are taking us for a good little ride right now. I say, yeah, and if they don't, at least if you've been on them if you've been on them since the 3-game point streak, you've enjoyed a 4-game win streak since that 3-game streak, right? And that's why when you play Street Catcher, if you go to streetcatcher.com, that's one of my other sites. Anytime somebody gets hot on a 3-game win streak, I'll put some coin on it because you never know when someone's going to get hot. And you got to do progressive betting. So when somebody gets on three wins, put $10 on it. If he wins the next one, put 20, then go 40. And then once you get to 40, then you go 80. And then once you get to 80, then you can start your streak over again, right? Because you've made $160. That's called progressive betting. So if you can do that, and that's what the streak catcher's for, right? Is to catch the hot hand, the hot streakers. And hopefully that it's just another form of sports betting, right? You got to find edges in sports betting. It's really tough to win, especially with parity now. Okay, back to this one. The Kings, 7-3 ATS, 6-4 against the number to the over. Now, let's take a look at value, right? We're always looking for value. Now, the LA Clippers, I got them at minus 7.3 today, and you're laying 8.5. So if you do like the LA Clippers, guys, you're getting, over value. Obviously, it's anytime you get the Clippers, the Bucks, the Lakers, the top teams, you're paying for the name, right? You're paying for the brand. And I always think that's what you're doing right now. But the thing is that all they do is cover games, but they cover mostly on the road, right? The LA Clippers, they're 6-5 against the spread at home, 9-4 to the on the road, and for the Sacramento Kings, 6-3 against the point spread. So Sacramento doing a good job. They've only played an A-type team only once so far on the road. They're 0-1, so that's it's only one game, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But back to the percentage play. Obviously, when you're an 8.5 point favorite, you're gonna have a high CAL. CAL stands for chance of winning, 73% compared to 32. Chance of covering. Now, because in the Rain report, teams that go on a high win streak against the point spread, it decreases the percentage play, right? The concept of the percentage play, the COC, is that the more you win, the less your percentage play goes down, right? That's what the reality of the Rain report is. It's about trying to find value, the percentage play, because they're on a 7-game win streak, and this is where you can have, when you're handicapping your games, you can have exceptions to the rules, right? In the Rain report, and even though the Rain report's like 3-4 years old, I'm still toying with now I'm just perfecting it, right? And the thing I'm noticing, even though the percentage play is at 23%, you got to have some perceptions of some rule exceptions, right? Exceptions to the rules, and one of them is streaks. One thing I never do, guys, I don't mess with streaks. Streaks, they'll burn you, you know where. All right, Lakers ruined my parlay. Yeah, we said yesterday, if D Rose, Emily, if D Rose was in the lineup, we said Detroit was the play, right? Do you guys remember that? And the Kings been covering on the road, Iowa all day. So Johnny likes Iowa. I'm on a 5-game. I took down Iowa. Bud Nino, right on, buddy. I'm on a 5-game win streak. I took Iowa -3. All right. Hey, you know what? I'm going to keep an eye. I'll be cheering for you there. Sacramento yesterday, 119. Clippers lost. Basketball game, peaks and valleys. Yeah, no kidding. Everything's peak and valleys. Halliburton, he was on fire yesterday, Anthony. Halliburton was absolutely on fire. And the one thing you notice with coaches, right? They'll feed the hot hand all the time. So going back to this one, guys, Sacramento. Oh, I just saw this. This is a little concerning, but not against the point spread. Any NBA road team playing on 0 days rest, plus 6.5 to 9 point road dog, 0-5 straight up. So just saw that, but 4-1 to the over. Let's take a look at some of the. When was the last time these two teams met? It was January 20th. Clippers won 115-96. So nice revenge factor here for the Sacramento Kings. And let me take a look at some of the. If you do like the over, the Rain report has a lot of system trends on the over here today. Let me see here. Road teams this year in the NBA coming off a 3-game win streak, 13-7 to the over. The over for road teams in the month of February, 31-19. All right. So, so any questions before I move on to the NHL guys? I know we have some NHL guys in the house. In fact, let me go to the SBI. Now, SBI stands for Sports Betting Index, and what I like to do with this segment is I like to monitor the current market conditions. If you recall yesterday, I said we're in an overs market for the over, right? If you recall, I said, guys, keep an eye on the over, and look at that yesterday, 7-4 to the over. We're still in a bull market for overs, and what you want to do is you want to keep an eye on the 1-day average, the 3-day average, and the 7-day average, just like the stock market, right? On the 1-day average, this is, the 1-day average can flip on you, so I don't read into the 1-day average. The 3-day average, you got my attention. So on the last 3 days, 60% of the overs will come in, and on the 7-day average, now you're in a full bull market because the overs are just coming in. And if you look down here in the 7-day average, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 7 days, the overs have won today, right? So that's how I look at the from a macro point of view. Micros, the team, then macros, the league. I look at it from a league perspective on what's coming in, just like I'm thinking like the bookmaker. So that way he's trying to make sure that this doesn't get out of control, that at the end of the year, right now in the NBA, the over has hit 53.7% of the time and the under has hit 46. Now the bookmaker wants to get this closer to 50%. So keep an eye on the under. Eventually there'll be a reversal and you're going to see like this. Look at this, the reversal here, right? So here you had a couple of unders and then look at this, the reversal. All the unders came in. And that's what I'm going to be expecting eventually. If this keeps going to the over, so you see this reversal coming to the under, I expect this reversal to come. Now, underdogs in the NBA, look at the underdogs, guys. We're in a bull market for underdogs. Check this out. On the 1-day average, okay, again, on 1-day average, it means nothing to me. 3-day average, 35.3% of the favorites, 64.7% of the underdogs have come in on the 3-day average, 58.6 on the 7-day. Now, if you're wondering what my range is, 42.8 to 57.1 is my range for under neutral, the neutral market. But because we're 58.8, now we're still in a bearish phase for favorites, but a bull phase for the underdogs. So guys, if you like underdogs, keep hammering them because they're coming in. But there will be a reversal. Just remember, what goes up must come down, and you're going to start seeing that. Before I get to the NHL, I always like to go look at the streaks just to show you guys exactly what's coming in the NBA. Now, look at this. Sacramento, 7 ATS wins. Milwaukee, quietly, 4 ATS wins. Now, Utah, Lakers, and New Orleans on a 3 ATS win streak. Cleveland Cavaliers, 6 ATS losses. Detroit, 4 ATS. Actually, no, Detroit won the other day, so that's wrong. Let me see. 7 overs for the Raptors. So the Raptors have gone on a 7-game over streak. Or Brooklyn, 6. Or actually, what was the line on the Detroit game yesterday? I thought they covered 13.5. Yeah, I thought they covered. All right, so Brooklyn, 6 overs. Philadelphia, 4 overs. And then a lot here. And then one last look at the 80% club stats. TJ Oshie's out. Oh, really? That sucks because I had Washington today. That's a 12 noon start. We'll get to that in just 1 second. And let me go to NBA. Thank you, Andreas. Appreciate that. Not too much ties in hockey. No, there's no ties in hockey. Unless you're playing pro line, right? All right, let's take a look at the when Utah is the road favorite. So if you like the Jazz, I like this. And the last 5 years, they won their last game by 17 points or more. And they're in a 4-1 cycle in their last 5 games. 9-2 straight up and against this point spread the last 5 years. So, guys, if you do like Utah, we got a nice little trend right there. Sacramento is a 6.5 point road underdog to 9 versus a conference opponent. Last 3 years, 10-2 to the over. The reason why I don't do NCAB with the Rain Report for the stats, servers, and because I'm a one-man show type thing, I don't have the manpower to keep the college basketball going. Too many games. If I was a big company, I would have the college basketball, but because I'm the one guy in a programmer type thing. That's the reason why I don't do college basketball for the stats here on the Rain Report, and for the reason why I don't do handicap is because I'm doing NHL and NBA at the same time. So that's why, Johnny. All right, let's go to the NHL. Let's take a look at the NHL for today. Any NHL fans out there? Washington taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, Flyers are really upsetting me here these days. Look at their on a 2-game losing streak. They had a rough time against Boston. They had a 3-goal lead against Boston, I think, in that first series, the first game, and then they lost in the second one 2-1. The Flyers are just not. They're disappointing. Even though they beat the Islanders, they couldn't score. They're beating the beatables, but they're not beating the teams they should. You shouldn't be losing your home games in the NHL, and they are. So looking at today's game, guys, Washington, a road underdog, a home underdog today, plus 110. I got the Flyers at minus 132, 3.1 to 3.3. The over-under at 6.49. Now I do like Washington today. Washington's one of my plays. I think Washington at home 4-2 on the season, and when they play the Flyers in their last 10 games, 5-5 straight up. Always tough games against the Flyers, right? They always play them tough in the bubble. Flyers took care of the Caps, so this will be a big revenge factor game for the Washington Capitals. Because look at this, in the bubble, 3-1 in their last game, 4-2 loss to the Rangers. So Ovi and company will want to get that. And you know what? Washington tends to play well on Sunday afternoon games. Afternoon games, when you watch Sunday games, they tend to do well. 6-5 on the year. They got to find goaltending. They're just allowing too many goals against, 4 goals against. But same thing with the Flyers, right? Flyers, no goaltending. The Flyers have won the last 4 meetings. Not in the bubble. If you look at you're right. 3-1, 5-3, 7-3, 3-2. But I like Washington today. Look at the value. Now we had the the Capitals here, minus 95. That's a mistake. Plus, you're getting plus 130. You're getting good value on the Washington Capitals. You're also getting overvalued price here on the Flyers. The chance of winning does favor the Washington Capitals at 56%. And let's take a look at the line move on this game. Now, the line opened up at minus 120, and it's going up to 132. So early indicators pointing towards the Flyers. The percentage play is going to be there, right? They lost 2 straight, but so has Washington. Washington has lost 2. You 4-0 yesterday. Good job, Sam Snead. Nice job. Yeah, I'm leaning with the Caps here today, guys. The over might be, the way these two teams are playing defense, both teams might get 40 shots on goal today. And teams that are at home this year on the NHL and they're on 2 days rest, the over is 12-6. So no spaghetti legs there. And if Ovechkin and Backstrom can get going today, the over could be there, right? Philadelphia, Giroux's got to start playing. He hasn't. He's got 1 goal and 9 assists or something like that. He's got to start. Stop feeding the assists and start putting the puck in the net, right? So give me a Radloff out for Dallas. Crap. This, did they say why he's out? Let me check out my. He's a big part of that team. He's the energy. Let me see. Radloff. Yeah, they're saying day to day, lower body. Don't you love that? Lower body. That's code for a growing injury or something, or a pulled hammy. Let me see. Dallas today. Jake Oettinger is supposed to get the call here today against Kevin Lankinen. The thing with Chicago, and I'll get to that. Let's go to the next game. Chicago-Dallas. The thing with Chicago, they're Jekyll and Hyde, right? Another Jekyll and Hyde team. 4-2 at home, 0-6 on the road. But we're getting to that point where, don't fall in love with favorites, because I know I've talked about this in the Raymond report. Let's take a look at this here. The SBI and the who's in nets for Philly. It looks like it's going to be Carter Hart. It's Carter Hart confirmed. Carter Hart's going to be in nets. Look at this in the SBI. If you like favorites in hockey, the NHL, take a look at last night. So last night, NHL here. I just want to make sure. No, that's NBA. All right, look at this. 5-1 for the favorites. 4-1. Like this whole green column here. If you like favorites, if you're a hockey bettor, you must have a big tall glass of milk to eat all that chalk, because there's a lot of favorites winning right now. Favorites in the NHL are winning at 73.6% clip. That is unbelievable. But hey, who am I going to argue with the market, right? If the favorites are coming in and you're laying a bit of chalk, I know sometimes it goes against my goal. I don't like laying a lot of chalk in baseball, but or baseball or hockey, money line sports. But if a team wins, you can't argue collecting the paycheck, right? 156 is the price on the Dallas Stars. Now they're going to be in a nasty mood coming off a loss to Columbus, and I think they're so they went 1-1. They lost 4-3. They're 6-4 in the last 10 against the Chicago Blackhawks, and 4-0 at home. Dallas has not lost a home game yet this year, and Chicago 0-6. Stars, another team who left Minnesota and became champs. Yeah. Exactly, right? Now we need the Calgary Flames to do that for leaving Atlanta. Flyers, Capitals go to overtime. You know what? You could be right there, Emily. Who's the goalie? Carter Hart. Chicago better at home. All right, let's take a look at some of the stats here. Yeah, give me Dallas today, guys. I like the Dallas Stars. Go back to fundamentals. Let's take a look at the value. If you like Dallas, minus 189 was my price, and we're getting 156. And if you like the Chicago Blackhawks, plus 135, and I had them at plus 181. So no value on the Chicago. Chance of winning, though, the lower high goes to the Chicago Blackhawks. 52% chance of winning based on the Rain Report law of average theory. 31% chance of this game going over the total. So 69% chance of this game going under. And, who knows, right? What's the over-under record? 5-3 in the year, 6-6. So pretty balanced. It's pretty balanced right there. In the last 10 trips for Chicago in Dallas, 4-6 to the over. And road teams on 2 days rest, 10-4 to the over. So the more rest teams have, Combined, look at this, 22-10 to the over when you combine the day's rest of home and road teams. So interesting fact right there. Dallas 2-0 against C-type teams at home. The thing is, there's a perception. The bookmakers are already telling you who they think they're going to win by making Andreas. Yeah, Buddy Buckets. Who doesn't love Buddy Buckets, eh? I love it. You know what? I'm going to get a Buddy Bucket T-shirt. I have to get one here. Yeah, perception versus reality, right? The bookmakers are already telling you who they think is going to win, but now you got to argue. Now you got to make a case for the Chicago Blackhawks. Here's what's the case on Chicago winning and what's the case on Dallas winning, right? That's the judge and jury, right? One of the best bars I've ever seen. The name of the bar was called the Judge and Jury. I thought that was a great name for a bar. Judge and Jury. The bartender's the judge and the patrons are the jury, I guess. Would lean Blackhawks. You know what? That's a good one, Emily. +1.5. If you guys recalled yesterday, I talked about the +1.5 to see how it does. I didn't check the yesterday, but look at Chicago. Chicago 9-3 on the puck line. Dallas 4-4. So yeah, so low confidence teams. So C-type teams. Remember what I said at the beginning? Teams that are C-type teams, low public confidence but high value, right? High rewards. So, but I'm going with Dallas. Dallas my play here today. Carolina against Columbus. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a good hockey game. You got Carolina. It looks like James Reimer might get the nod. I really don't understand. Mrazek is to me should be the starter, but unless Brendamore thinks he's got more chance of winning with James Reimer, Jonas Korpisalo going to go for the Blue Jackets. Now the line on this game. -156 for Carolina. Over-unders at 5.5. We have Carolina winning 3.06, 2.79. Over-under at 5.85. Now, we all know Columbus went through a hiccup with Dubois, and now they got Patrick Laney in the lineup. Laney wanted out of Winnipeg. I just this is a balanced team here. 5-5, 3-7 against the puck line, 4-6. For Carolina. I got Carolina in one of my futures total to win the Stanley Cup, but I really thought that they'd have more confidence in Mrazek. What is it with the website to see other people's pick? You have mentioned a couple of days. Yeah, streetcatcher.com. Here, I'll post it right here. Streetcatcher.com. If you go to Streetcatcher, guys, the more people we get playing at Streetcatcher, the more people we have an opportunity. And I'll show you guys the progressive betting one day on the Rain Report. And like right now, Phillies 157 or 153. There's a guy there. He's on a 7-game win streak. If you've ridden Phillies picks in the last 3 since he's won 3 in a row, you're already up 4 units if you bet 1 unit of play, right? So streetcatcher.com. Also hockeypicks.com. Hockeypicks.com is one of my favorite sites. I own a few sites, but hockeypicks.com is one of my absolute favorite picks because it's like I call it the Twitter of hockey. You can follow other pickers, you can see their picks, you can build your own consensus with the people you respect. It's a really great site. I think I'm going to do one for basketball. I think I'm going to do another pick, hockeypicks.com, but for basketball. What do you guys think of that? Columbus has won the last 4 meetings. Oh, okay, back to this one. Somebody's keeping me, Emily's keeping me right here on the job here. That's good. I like that. 3.06 to 2.79. We already went through that. Now, the thing is, you're getting value, but -196 was our line here. So anytime you see this here, -196, that's how good they're playing. If you're wondering how I come up with this, I have a formula that I come up using the road and home lines and the results, and then I come up with the line that I think it should be. And and what you do with the DMVI, so the Daily Market Value Index, is you want to take this line and put it on the stock market. And if I were to buy Carolina today on the stock market, that's the price that I would pay for them. So what you want to do is take a look at this and say, okay, you know what? That's what they're worth today, 156. Now, I thought coming in that I would have to buy them at -196. So that was my price at the beginning of the day. That was my price on the Hurricanes. So I'm getting value at 156, and I had Columbus at +118, but I'm getting really good value at +135. So that's where I'm going with the Daily Market Value Index. So I'm looking for value, right? I know some people will talk and they say value is crap. Who cares about value? I always say it's like art. It's in the eye of the beholder, right? Somebody will look at a painting and say that looks like crap, and one person will say, "I'll give you $3 million." You know, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? It's what will it's like cryptocurrency. It's like the stock market. It's what the value of the market wants to pay for it, right? And if you want to pay 156, that's up to you. Um, Hockey picks. There's a good hockey cappers. Yeah, there's some great cappers there. Go look at Musco. There's a guy on so hockeypicks.com. I built that site almost 20 years ago. There's a guy on there, Ed Musco, and anytime anybody goes 4-0 or better, you get a mini Stanley Cup. This guy has 59 Stanley Cups. Think about that. He's got 59 Stanley Cups. He's went 4-0 or better 59 times. I hope he bet those games because he's probably sitting on a king's ransom right now. All right, here we go. Back to Carolina. Now look at Carolina against the C-type teams. And I talked about this in the Raymond report a couple of days ago. Teams from a mental point of view, right? From a team aspect. I coach football, and I know how when you enter a game that week, there's a mindset starting the first practice in football. Hockey's a little bit different. You're playing every other day, but there's a mindset going into a game on, people will never tell you. Players will never tell you. They're going in and say, yeah, we're going to beat that team. But then, they lose and they're like, well, what happened? How did we lose to that team, right? So that mindset that goes into that game. Now, A-type team, now bullish. Now, Carolina's bullish. They're 5-2 in their last 7, and Columbus is 4-3, so they're neutral. But going into this game, you got an A-type team, so a team that's above 60% in the standings. And when they play a team below 500 on the road, they're 1-2, 0-3 against the point spread. So I don't think the puck line would be good here. -1.5, but 3-0 to the over. So that's interesting right there. 3-0 to the over. Yeah, we'll get to the you know what? I'll do a briefing on the Super Bowl too. Look at Carolina, 4-1 to the over this year on the road, 4-1, and Columbus 3-3. Columbus is a hard team to read, and it's just Columbus is like the mood of the coach. If Fonzie's on, the whole team's on. If Fonzie's in a bad mood, everybody's in a bad mood, right? That's Tortorella. Look at the last 10 meetings between these two teams, between Columbus and Carolina. 1-8-1 to the under. And under this game here today, guys, one of my premium picks. I feel like I'm giving out all my premium picks here on the show. 1-8. I love the under in this game. I've already bet my picks. 1-8. I bet the under in Carolina Columbus. Werenski's out for the Blue Jackets. Yeah, he's a very good defenseman. Okay, Kansas City. I'll get to my Super Bowl pick in a minute. All right, let's go back to this game. So Columbus. All right, LA, Vegas. So getting close to noon, guys. So I'm gonna speed up here. -263. This line to me is fool's gold, right? Hey, don't get me wrong. Vegas is a great team. They're a very good hockey team. 6-2 in the year. They shouldn't be a -263 team against LA. LA, 3-7. Okay, let's take a look at their losses. 5-2, 3-1 to the Ducks, so 2 legal loss. They're losing to the Wild, so they're on a bad little streak right here, right? 2-1 to the Wild, 6-3 to the Blues, 4-2, 4-2. So they've only gotten blown out really last game, right? So do they deserve to be a 215 underdog today? Probably not. What's my line? I had a 161, and this is where I think the line should be. -211 for Vegas. I like LA today, guys. I think if you like LA and if you do like the puck line, I think the puck line could be a good value, but I do like LA to win. I'm betting on LA. They're not making my premium picks just based on they're in a bad rut right now. But look at this. On the road this year, 2-1 against A-type teams. So who's those A-type teams? Must be St. Louis. Let me see. They beat the Wild. Let me see. 4-3 loss. So, Colorado. Hey, that's an A-type team. You win 4-2 in Colorado, you're doing something well. And they also beat St. Louis 6-3. But keep in mind, St. Louis lost yesterday to Arizona, right? But that's what I love about the NHL. On any given Sunday, speaking of Sunday, we're out Sunday, right? So, guys, I do like LA in this game. Who do you guys like? Vegas 1-5-2 Friday. I don't think it's happening again today. I do like I like LA. All right, let's go to the next one. The last game since Colorado's postponed. Detroit, Florida. Man, I don't think this will be a tough game to watch. -250, the over-under at 5.5. 3.3 to 2.5, the over-under at 5.94. Florida 6-2. Even though they're 6-2, they don't play a team that's 6-2, right? Seems like every game's a 1-goal game for the Panthers. 2-1, 6-5. It is a 1-goal game. 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 4-3, 5-4, 5, except for the first game of the year. Every game, the last 7 games, been a 1-goal game. There's no way they should be a 250 favorite. Minus 192, even minus 192 is like giving you a gift here. It's a compliment. But no, but I can't bet Detroit. Detroit's on an 8-game losing streak. You know the rules. 0-6 straight up. If you're going to bet this game, guys, the puck line might be worth it. I think the puck line on the Couture, you know what? Sean Couturier, they need him because the Flyers are really hurting. So puck line here, but the over. I think the over is where you want to bet here today, guys, on this game. All right, let's go to the Super Bowl. Let's go to the rain report, and let's see what we have in store here. Man, I'm looking at the TV right now, and there's no clouds in the skies in Tampa Bay. Watching the NFL Network, and man, what a beautiful atmosphere it is there. All right, Florida won the first 2 meeting. Tampa Bay, 3 now. I'm seeing 3 now. So the 3.5, 3 is what you're seeing. Kansas City, the over/under at 55.5. The forecast, the computer pick, gonna lean with the Bucks here, 23-22, over/under at 46. Now I do like Tampa Bay here, guys, today plus 3.5, but I love the under better. I think the under is a bit better. I think Tampa Bay's defense is not getting enough respect. I know we're talking Mahomes and Brady, but this Tampa Bay defense has been lights out since the last 5 games. And when I mean lights out, I mean they're playing well. They're not shutting down people like the 2000 Ravens, but they're playing good. They're playing some good football. You know, when you can win on the road, this team reminds me of the Giants when they beat the Patriots, right? With the Tyree catch on the head. Whenever a team wins on the road, and now they go to the Super Bowl, and luck has it they're in their own stadium. It's going to be an interesting call here. Game. Packers 31-26 to go win in Green Bay at Lambeau in January. Man, you're doing something right, and that's a warm weather team. Remember, there used to be a stat on Tampa Bay that couldn't win in cold weathers. Well, that stat's out the window now. Tampa Bay 30-20. Drew Brees pooped to bed in the fourth quarter. Washington, they just didn't have the horses to keep up. And then, week 17, they beat the Falcons and then the Lions. So, when was the last time this team lost to the Chiefs, right? So the last time they beat the Chiefs, loss was to the Chiefs. That was November 29th. So they've been on a good winning streak here, unless I'm missing something here. No, they've been on a, 5-game win streak, 6-game win streak. So let me see here. So they beat the Packers. They beat 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-game win streak. Yeah, so you know what? Be careful if you do like Kansas City. But, Patrick Mahomes, what can you say about that guy? If this will be an interesting, Mahomes will want to beat Brady again, but this time beat him for a bigger prize. Because, at the end of the day, when everybody looks back on their career, Tom can't go forever. When Patrick Mahomes looks back, he wants to, on this day, wants to be able to say, I beat Tom Brady twice in the same year. But how do you go against Tom Brady and that defense, right? I think the under. I think there's going to be a close game to the under. I think the total has it right here at 46. I don't know if the forecast is going to be right, but you know what, Emily? I didn't even look at any props this week, to be honest. I've just been so focused on NBA and NHL and the podcast that I really haven't had a chance. So looking at the Super Bowl game, guys, today, I do like Tampa Bay plus 3.5, and I like the under. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for showing up today on the podcast. Again, this podcast will be done each and every day, Monday to Friday, 2 to 3 p.m. I'll try to put up some links. See, the problem is, as soon as I put this, the live, the notice that we're doing a stream, because I'm on Zoom, then it takes a different stream. Like, I bet you if I go back to my my page here on YouTube, my reminder screen is probably empty. But because, it doesn't even work. So Zoom doesn't kick in unless maybe it is. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. We'll see here. All right. Any questions before I go, guys? I want to thank everybody for showing up. I think we had about 60-some people. Hey, we keep growing. So I appreciate all the people coming in and giving their feedback. And if there's anything you think to make the show better, just throw it in the chat. Send me an email. And again, the reason why I do these shows, guys, is to bring a different perspective on the on my system on how I handicap sports. I look at I look at things different. I play sports. I coach sports. I coached football for 25 years. So coach high school, university in Canada. So I know the game very well. I know the mindset. I know the athletes, how they think. And at the end of the day, we've got to make money, right? And that's how do we convert it to making money. But again, if you want to see how the Raymond Report works, go to odds, go to Raymond Report system, and this will give you a quick rundown today on the Raymond Report on the fundamentals. Then this way, when we look at the Raymond Report and when I talk about everything, then you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So again, guys, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys, and I wish you all the best today. Stay safe, and hey, may all the winners be yours, right? And like I always say, shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back shortly with another Raymond Report. Cheers.